Have you ever felt body aches that the exams can't explain? Have you ever had that strange feeling of being out of your mind, as if something is changing inside, but you can't understand what? That's that. Maybe you're not sick. Perhaps, and here's the sticking point, you're spiritually awakening. And yes, this process often begins with confusion, tiredness for no reason, recurring pain, crying spells. But what if all of this was just your body's way of saying, we're evolving? The truth is, no one has told you that spiritual awakening doesn't come with bells ringing and lights flashing. It comes in the form of discomforts, internal conflicts, symptoms that seem physical, but have emotional and energetic roots. What traditional medicine calls stress is often the soul trying to break down old structures. And the most surprising? There is a pattern to all of this. A map. A code hidden behind the pains, blockages and resistances we feel. If you've tried everything and still feel like something deeper is happening, congratulations. You are among the few who have begun to truly listen to themselves. And in this video, we'll break down every part of this process, from the physical signs to the subtlest transformations in your inner energy. Get ready. What you'll hear here can totally change how you understand your pain and your path. You know that pain that insists on coming back, even after all the exams say that everything is fine? That's that. Maybe it's not just physical. Many have already begun to realize that certain pains carry deep meanings, as if the body is screaming what the soul whispers. The constant headache, for example, can reveal a mental overload, an excess of unresolved thoughts, an invisible pressure. Spirituality teaches us that the mind and body are intertwined by invisible threads of inner energy. When these strands are tangled, symptoms appear. That's where mindfulness comes in, that sacred pause in the middle of chaos. Practicing mindfulness daily, and this can be as simple as taking a deep breath for 2 minutes, helps clear the excess noise that the mind accumulates. With this, the chakras begin to align, unblocking areas that previously seemed stuck. The pain, then, loses its strength. A practical example. Before bed, sit in bed, close your eyes, and do 3 cycles of deep breathing, visualizing a golden light in the center of your forehead. It may seem symbolic, but the body understands these subtle messages. These practices work as a translator of body language. Meditation is not just about closing your eyes and thinking about nothing, but immersing yourself in a space where emotional healing begins to unfold, like an old ball of yarn that finally finds its end. It is at this moment that self-knowledge begins to flourish. Because, deep down, pain also wants to talk, it just needs to be heard without judgment. With time and practice, the person begins to identify that some pains arise exactly when they try to control the uncontrollable. And the most curious? Sometimes, a low back pain that does not yield to the anti-inflammatory disappears after a sincere conversation with someone who was away. Or a chronic stomach ache dissolves when the person truly forgives a past mistake. This is the power of forgiveness and inner energy breaking free. Our bodies hold emotional memories, as if they were silent libraries. And when healing begins, those pages are rewritten with new energy. So the next time a pain visits you, before you fight it with medication, ask, what are you trying to show me? Perhaps the answer lies less in the pharmacy and more in the silence of your soul. And that's just the first door. Because, right there, in another room of the body, lives the tension that accumulates in the neck and shoulders. These two. They want to tell you another story. The neck, poor thing, lives squeezed between the head full of thoughts and the body full of desires. When it hurts, it's not just posture or a bad pillow, often, it's the rigidity of beliefs, that emotional stubbornness that prevents us from looking the other way. Have you noticed how difficult it is to turn your neck when it is locked? Well, sometimes it is the exact reflection of the difficulty we have in forgiving, in making our worldview more flexible. Physical pain can be, literally, a bodily symbol of emotional resistance. As for the shoulders, the shoulders. They are like invisible shelves where we pile up responsibilities, demands, and expectations, ours and others. There are people who carry the whole family there, and there is still room for the boss, for the son's report card, and even for the neighbor's cat. It is no wonder that so many people live with tense shoulders. The body is screaming, "Hey, you don't have to carry all of this alone." Spirituality teaches that accepting help is also a form of self-care and spiritual awakening. If you feel this constant pressure on your shoulders, try a simple practice. When you wake up, before you pick up your phone, stand up, take a deep breath, and visualize that each inhale cleanses your shoulders, and each exhale releases a weight. Do this for 3 minutes. You will be surprised by the lightness that arises, as if your inner energy, previously stifled, is flowing again. And no, it's not magic, it's awareness. It is emotional healing by starting to work where before there was only pain. Another important point, forgiveness. Sometimes, neck stiffness is directly linked to old hurts that have never been processed. It's not about passing the cloth, but about freeing yourself from emotional prison. A good exercise is to write a letter, which you will never deliver, to someone who hurt you. Put everything there, without filters. Then, burn or tear it. This simple yet profound ritual can unlock so much more than you realize. Interestingly, as these pains dissolve, there comes a sense of freedom. As if the body said, "Thank you for listening." And this is just the beginning, because in their arms and hands there are also stories that no one has told, and that, perhaps, they are just waiting for a chance to be touched. The arms, these extensions of the chest, serve to embrace the world, or push it away. When they hurt, it is as if they are refusing to give or receive affection. Sometimes the pain is not in lifting a weight, but in dealing with the emotional weight of a relationship. The body-mind connection is so deep that, without realizing it, the body reacts to loneliness, fear of opening up again, or even excess control. When you live close to the other, the body creates barriers that soon translate into very real energetic blockages. The hands, on the other hand, tell another story. They represent acting, creating, letting go. And when they hurt for no apparent reason, you can bet, there's something you're trying to control too much. Maybe a situation out of your reach, maybe someone you love. Spirituality reminds us that letting go is not abandoning, but trusting. A good exercise is to spend 5 minutes a day doing something creative with your hands, drawing, cooking, working with clay, writing by hand. This calms, unlocks, and reconnects with the energy within. The heart, in turn, is the main stage of emotional drama. Chest pains, when not medical issues, often point to repressed emotions, undigested sadness, lack of forgiveness. The heart chakra closes when there is hurt, resentment, fear of loving. And when it closes, the world seems less colorful, less alive. Practices such as meditation focused on the heart chakra, where one visualizes a green light pulsating in the center of the chest, help restore the flow of self-love and emotional healing. Want something even more practical? Do a gratitude exercise. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for, focusing on people or moments that warmed your heart. It sounds simple, but this habit activates the emotional field in a powerful way. Gradually, the pain hurts less, and the chest breathes better. Self-care, here, is more than having tea or resting. It is allowing yourself to feel, without censorship, and welcoming yourself as if you were your best friend. And so, as the chest opens, the arms move more freely and the hands create again without fear. But the past doesn't always let everything flow like this, and he loves to hide where we least expect it, on his back and hips, the next hiding place of the soul. The back is like a silent diary, recording every emotional weight we carry without realizing it. When pain settles at the top, it almost always points to the past, unresolved stories, poorly digested guilt, unfulfilled promises. It is as if each heavy memory became a small brick piled up in the region of the shoulder blades. And the most curious? It's not always a big deal. Sometimes, it's just that one conversation you should have had and swallowed. And then, the pain speaks in place of what was stuck in the throat. The lower back, in turn, speaks a lot about the present and the fear of the future. Fear of instability, lack of resources, loss of control. It is a clear sign that the inner energy is on alert, as if to say, what if everything goes wrong? Spirituality teaches that this type of pain reveals a disconnection with the base, with the root chakra. Practices such as mindful walks in nature, the use of crystals such as hematite, or even baths with coarse salt help to strengthen this center and promote rooting. And then we come to the hips, which work almost like hinges of the soul. When they hurt, it is a sign that we are resisting change. And who has never resisted, right? Change is scary, it shakes the ground where we step. The problem is that, when resisting, the body stiffens. The hips lose their flexibility and, along with it, we lose the lightness of life. A good practice to make room there is yoga, especially postures such as the dove or the butterfly, which help to release emotions trapped in that region. But if yoga isn't your thing, no problem. Dancing at home, even alone, can be liberating. Put on music that moves you and just moves. No right steps, no shame. Just feel it. This helps to unlock not only the hips, but also the emotions that you didn't know were stored there. The body understands this gesture as a sign that it is safe to change. And when change finally finds space, something starts to unlock in the legs as well. It's as if they were asking, now that we're lighter, can we move on? But then, it is the knee that usually has the last word before the next step. The legs are our means of locomotion, but also our emotional thermometer when it comes to advancement in life. When they hurt, especially for no apparent clinical reason, it is common for them to be told, you are too still. Stagnation is not only physical, it is also emotional and spiritual. How many times have we felt blocked from making a decision, getting out of a toxic relationship, or simply changing our routine? The pain in the legs is this internal cry that echoes, the path is there, we just lack the courage to walk. The knees, with their delicate and powerful structure at the same time, symbolize our relationship with humility and acceptance. They hurt when we refuse to bend before life, when pride or fear prevent us from welcoming change. A useful exercise is the practice of compassionate internal dialogue. It works like this: sit in silence and imagine that you are talking to your past self, the one who made a mistake, who fell. The goal? Practice forgiveness. And look at this softens not only the heart, but the knees as well. The base of our balance lives in the feet. They connect us with the present, with the earth, with the now. Foot pain is common in people who live more in the what if than in the here and now. The lack of rootedness, of full presence, causes this kind of discomfort. Mindfulness helps, a lot. Want an example? When walking to the market, turn off your cell phone, feel the ground, observe the sounds. Walking with presence heals more than a lot of physical therapy sessions. Because it is the body being seen, heard and respected. And you can't forget that each foot has points that reflect organs and emotions. Yes, reflexology has been around for centuries saying that. A self-massage with lavender essential oil before bed can work miracles. And more than relaxing, it shows the body that it is being taken care of. And when the body feels cared for, it reciprocates with balance. Self-care, then, ceases to be a luxury and becomes a language of love. With free legs, more flexible knees and feet connected to the present, the body is ready to go further. But this journey only makes sense when we understand his language in full. And that's where holistic healing comes in, a deep dive into self-awareness and self-listening. The body speaks. He always did. But most of us have learned to silence that voice with painkillers, rushed routines, and emotional denial. Holistic healing begins the moment we decide to listen attentively, that mindfulness that requires presence, patience, and courage. Because, let's face it, listening to what the body has to say can be uncomfortable. It brings truths that do not fit into the filters of social networks. But it is precisely in this discomfort that true spiritual awakening begins. Understanding body language isn't just about learning chakra names or memorizing energy maps, it's about real connection with every sensation, every tension, every pain. It's like relearning how to talk to an old friend you've ignored for years. And this conversation, when done with compassion, makes room for emotional healing that goes far beyond the physical symptom. Spirituality comes in as a guide in this process, showing that self-knowledge is not a goal, but a continuous path. It is on this path that forgiveness finds space. Not only forgiveness of the other, but the most difficult, forgiveness of oneself. And when that happens, the body changes. The skin becomes lighter, the look calmer, even the posture is transformed. Practices such as guided meditation with a focus on energy healing, creative visualizations, or even therapies with flower essences and crystals are incredible tools for this process. Not because they are mystical, but because they help the body remember that it can trust again. Consciousness heals. But not that rational, mental, academic consciousness. It is the sensitive consciousness, the one that perceives the small details, how the stomach reacts to a piece of news, how the chest tightens when it hears a name. It is in these subtle moments that energetic blockages reveal themselves. And when they reveal themselves, they have already begun to dissolve. The secret is in unhurried listening, in light touch, in a generous look inside. So the next time something hurts, instead of asking, "How do I get rid of this?" ask, "What do I need to learn here?" Because each pain carries a key. And when we learn to use them, doors that have been locked for years open. But are you really sick, or are you just awakening to something much bigger? Now that you understand that pain is not an enemy, but an invitation, what are you going to do with it? Will you continue to ignore your body's signals, or will you finally stop and listen to what it has to tell you? Because the truth is simple, but profound, you have in you all the keys to heal yourself. The question is, are you willing to use them? Are you ready to face your pains as portals of self-knowledge? Will it continue to treat itself as a machine that only needs patching, or will it assume its power of total transformation? Think about it. What if everything you need is already there, inside you, just waiting for a sign of permission? Have you ever thought about how much can change if you start today? Comment below which of these pains spoke to you the most. Which part of the body is trying to tell you something? Sharing can be the first step in your healing, and it helps others who are experiencing the same. Oh, and don't forget, if this content touched you, if it made sense, if it turned on some light in there, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Because this is just the beginning. We will still walk a lot together in this awakening.